actually quite a good performance on that map. So if we should get to Clubhouse, I am actually quite looking forward to it.
100%. I think it goes back to what you were saying in terms of performance, right? You had a full...
I know it's a problem, and it's a sore spot. Operator bans
should be probably the Blackbeard and the Monty. Could be a Blitz, but I would expect the Blackbeard and then Kaid Bandit going to be the scanned on his Deimos tracker. So a couple options, and he will opt for the smoke to start who's playing those server stairs.
Wizard goes for a quick swing, and down goes Ask, whose bullet tracers had given his position away seconds before. Ness looking for a potential follow-up on a separate window now, as defenders are having their day. Wizard's been dropped, but two players from Team Liquid are no more. Wizard might not even need to be secured, as there's a jump on in. Nesk taking care of Wizard, the first kill for his team, but it's all up to Diaz now as a pair of kills come out on the side of Nip, leaving Liquid in a pretty terrible spot. The import, Diaz, with diffuser in hand, baits out the Azami of Fantasy, still dealing with the clash, getting slowed down, and another player will now assume the position. Hard to tell if that's Pino or Hates. Looks like it's Pino standing in this position, and it is. He gets him with the shotgun blast, and round one goes to Ninja.
Opportunity to. They just need to hunker down and try to win their fights.
Down goes Nesk to Wizard. Silent bullets being fired out. An opportunity, and now taking some damage, and I think that's his feet being shot away at. He's on a single point of HP, holding this tight corner. The Deimos is there. Hates will die, the only one on Nip in the ground at the moment. But 10 seconds means Nip is running out of runway. Maya on the board, traded back. Deimos finished off. Maya doing some serious damage as Ask is in the ground, and Maya will win it. Great pick on the Fantasy, though. If you're going to take somebody down early, it should be an Azami. Out goes a Toxic Babe as you see the Smoke of Pino trying to hold on for dear life. Nip coming to life themselves on the kill feed. Hates falling at the hands of Naska's Team Liquid will answer right back with a burst of kills on their own. Nip reduced to just Wizard. The player who died early in round number one will now circle above, watching those kill holes, aiming to find one of the two remaining players from Team Liquid as Nesk holds on to the case. A bit of an abnormal spot for Nesk to be in. He's not a support player traditionally, but sometimes the job needs to be done. He'll rely on Ask to watch over top of him. Fuse plant going down, and Wizard now just trying to bide time. He's getting some pings inside the site.
Slow from Liquid. Obviously that top floor clear didn't go as quickly as they would have liked, but eventually was able to make sure that they had
no cook mechanic anymore. Nade explosion will take down what remained of that Kiba barrier. Fantasy punishing Nask. Fantasy finding a second onto Maya, and a very swift rebuke of this entry from Team Liquid. They jump in. Nip throws them right back out. And now an engagement that might favor Wizard. He'll lose some of his coverage through the wall, firing back. Diaz on the board. Resets drops to Cons, and Nip continue to maintain their advantage. Wizard now taking some damage as he hits the deck. Ask and Diaz breathing down the necks of these remaining Nip players, but Wizard takes an opportunity to punish Ask as that Blackbeard shield comes down. And Diaz will need to clutch up. 4 kills is an impressive tally, but he can't find either of the remaining players.
Live, everybody from NIP in the bomb site, with the exception of Hates, who is still playing reception. Cons on the filter stairs, holding a strong position as well. I'm not sure Liquid have a whole lot of entry points, but they are starting to smoke things out.
Nitro Cell goes down, and a huge round from Hates already, with 3 more players on Liquid to find. Make that 2. Maya, goodbye. Nip searching for their second round in a row. And a good start to this map. Then Team Liquid fired things up. Nesk on the board in a desperate attempt to win the round for his team. Can't accomplish it.
But leaves that power position as the Dokkaebi call rains out to try to take some gunfights, but still being protected now by the Kiba, finally cleaned up by Ask. That's good util play by Liquid to force him out of that.
Be able to get that diffuser down again. Not the usual support players holding on to the case at this current point in time. Nesk taking some damage at the hands of Pino. And an even greater advantage now for Liquid. I'm not really sure what the Blackbeard was thinking there, but the rest of the team is doing their job. Wizard is the last one up, and well, he'll have to work some real magic against the remaining players of Liquid, many of whom, 2 of the 3, have taken quite a beating. Diffuser gets planted. Nesk and Ask, the last 2 that need to die. Set up Maya in a 1v1 with Wizard. Nesk taking some damage as those 2 are the culprits down below for Liquid. Wizard searching for anything really at this point. Tale as old as time. Play with the kill holes. But at some point, you got to drop down to get to the case. That's the bigger issue, Jesse. I don't know how much more time Wizard will have as he hits the deck, and Maya, the one who didn't.
As the stun comes in, this will be the push.
2 mines being hit as they march on in. Nip's advance being slowed for the time being, but Fantasy has found the board. That's Nesk to die. No tuber out to slow things down even more. Diaz wrapping around, finding 2 kills. Now it's Reset's turn to maybe catch them off guard. A Nitro Cell went out, Ask and Diaz in the ground, and suddenly Nip have the upper hand in terms of players. Adrenal Surge will give Nip a bit more HP just to top them back up as they'd been damaged by some goo mines. Eight's in a rough spot. Went to pull out the secondary gadget, but Fantasy saves the day. See those drones now being punished. We're about to hit the halfway mark. They've been closing in on the bomb site. Shield in hand for Cons yet again. Fantasy, the first casualty on the side of Nip. Now, Team Liquid with an advantage of 1, Jesse.
Make it 2. Nesk, good pick on the 8. You saw how strong those drones were, but it doesn't seem to matter. Nesk a second as well, and Maya finds Wizard. Everything falls to pieces. The top floor clear has completely fumbled Parker, and it leaves Pino in a 1v5. No hope of winning this round. Aware of an aggressive player bottom lobby, will take this gunfight and lose it. Great from Maya.
Serious damage to the 2 Moroccan operators from Wind Bastion, if you will recall, doing battle. Nesk walks away wounded, still very much alive. 40 seconds have flown by. Fantasy on the board, not for 1 but 2. 11 kills as a third is there as well. Maya shut down, and Fantasy is an absolute monster. Got 1 more lined up. Down goes Cons to Ask. Pino on the board, denying an ace. Diaz, though, swiftly stopping him. Pino will need to find time to get Diffuser down. Diaz can stop him, but he doesn't have a good idea as to where this kit is getting placed. Might be able to get one of these players as now they escape the vicinity. This was very close for Liquid. Diaz doing his damnedest to keep his team in this round. Back and forth, these teams have gone since the very start. No more than 2 consecutive rounds won by either side. Diaz has his work cut out for him. This will be the Devil's Split. The 2 remaining players on Nip, both on the other side of
That IGL as Ask is the opening death for this 4th defense on the top floor of Lair.
Nice fire back from Maya, who he himself is a terrific younger player. If we're going to give a nod to Nip with their ability to find young talent, we have to credit Liquid here for pulling Maya up, who has looked great through most of his time competing at a tier 1 level. Nesk, who's competing with Diaz and Maya for top frag on the team, is gone, and Nitro Cell will send Pino right back out the same door, this time in a coffin. Cons on the board. Fantasy dies at the hands of Maya as Maya will find his 2nd kill, and it's just over. So Team Liquid will have them out-muscled in that regard. Perfect time for those smart glasses to go on for Diaz. Cons will get the diffuser down quite successfully. Diaz looking to add to those impactful kills. Cons finding multiple targets. Maya with a triple kill. Diaz a huge round as well. Maya frozen in place. I'm not sure if he was typing or not. But an easy counter disable for Team Liquid. The timeout has settled their nerves. And these 2 teams just cannot shake one. High impact kills have been plentiful for both teams. Even some of the players whose overall kill total doesn't look that impressive at first glance. Eights was checking the ceiling, but had a wrong idea of where Nesk was playing. He's punished immediately. Liquid with the leadoff pick with 45 seconds remaining. Ask pulling a Nitro Cell, well coordinated as Cons is the target for that. Goodbye to the shield. Now Pino's gone, and all he can do is scratch his head. Nip have suffered almost nothing at this point in time. They'll win another flawless round.
Over towards Filter Stairs, and I do think that's the right read. It will be an office plant to finish things off, but still, they're not going down the staircase. The hatch is more likely to be the entry point.
Flashbang will go off. They've lost resets. Overtime looking more likely now. Liquid just need to survive the storm. Try to get a couple kills here and hope for the best, but they'll now lose Maya as well. Down goes Diaz and Ask, and we've seen flawless rounds aplenty so far today. Nesk attempting to stop the flawless, but can he stop the overall victory? Guns down Pino. Cons has diffuser. No way to stop him. Wizard propels us to OT. And at minimum, 2 more rounds. There's a nade in hand. He's decided to pull out the sidearm instead. Look at this duel between 2 Titans. One young, one old. An old man can still shoot. Nesk good enough for one. The other youngster, Hates, jumping in on the fun. The Nitro Cell gets Hates, but a little bit too belated. Not quick enough to save Nesk's life. Diaz is down on the ground as well, and Team Liquid have themselves an advantage. Scoreline will say 4v2, but we all know only 3 players still stand for Liquid. He has finished off. Wizard doing some serious damage, but Liquid will sweep right through and go back to match point. You see those shotguns making lines of sight still. Nade goes up and Cons has no choice but to back away. Back to the Black Mirror he goes. Pino dropped. The first kill is going to come out on the side of Hates, and Pino might actually be retrievable. I would love to see what happened there. Hates team killing Pino by mistake, and Nitrocell goes out. Huge round from Hates.
Make something happen with these. Where do they find their opening from? Up against Cons on the board and 2, gonna be tough.
Hates is still in such a strong spot, now called into action, and he'll finish the deal with Fantasy side by side. And we go all 15 rounds. Not all of these gadgets are passive gadgets, so the fact that you're not going to have them for the actual execute is quite devastating. They still have a Nitro Cell, though. It somehow manages to do damage to Pino, but not all the way. Nesk now dead, Reset's dead as well. Ask the only one on the board. Liquid down by 1. They've softened up these NIP players, but as long as you've got 1 HP to your name and a gun in your hand, you can still easily win the round. But these teams still coming to blows now, Jesse. Cons holding that diffuser. Pino eliminating Maya. A trade back as Diaz is now on the board to join Ask. The last 2 people on the side of Liquid are the 2 with kills in this round. Bombing with each other. Again, lots of damage done on the side of Nip. A great shot by Ask as he now squares up and repositions. This is a beautiful moment for Team Liquid as they are holding off the hordes from Nip. They'll lose Ask though, and Diaz will need to clutch up into a 1v1. A 1v1 to determine the winner of map 1, and Diaz does it for Liquid! It doesn't get much closer.
All swings, all positioning, rather than it being some crazy strategical marker. That last round was a thriller.
Yeah, that last round was actually, again, I think a show of the lack of strategy on the side of NIP. I'm sorry, but that was a split attack that was extremely readable, extremely chaotic, extremely disjointed, and that's why you have so much space for timings. How many times did you see a player swing single-handedly, taking the decision to go swing the bomb site or swing nearby? Many times that player was taking that gunfight solo in an untraded.
It was a 7-3 loss where they struggled both on attack and on defense. So maybe you could say that also a loss, 7-3 to FaZe. So it's by no means going to be free for NIP, but you do have to wonder kind of how the rest of this game is going to.
Resets will get shoved off this position. Nade goes out. Logic bombs will, or rather the EE1Ds will go out rather, and down goes Resets, the hands of Cons. Good entry point from NIP that will continue to get better as they punish those defenders. He has his last man standing, trying to chew through what remains now of Wizard. His bullets bouncing off of the shield, put in front by Osa, and a flawless start to Bank. Elements to this game that remain casual and keep some of the more competitive elements in there separate. There's a rough spot for Reset. Knock these Team Liquid players into unfavorable spots. Maya also being hounded by those bees that were shot out by Wizard as he tracks their location. Finally, Liquid gets on the board. Ask will do it in the 5th minute of the game. Liquid really don't have much to show for it at this current point in time. They'll get on the board yet again. It's Diaz gunning down Cons. A 3v3. Plenty of time for both squads. All 3 kills on the side of Liquid now coming from separate players. Ask, Diaz, and Nesk, all that remain. They'll lose 2. Diaz alone, and Pino will sweep through with some help. Approach this bomb site because they are so sluggish. Shumika's still in pocket for Diaz to fire off those Molotov shotgun around the corner. Ask is tearing through this team. Hates finds his way into the garage with 20 seconds left. He was coming for maybe late push. Team Liquid might have their own flawless round depending on how Hates plays this. Nesk will get him, and yes, a flawless start.
Pino, and I've never really seen this operator on this bomb site, so I was super intrigued what he was going to do with it. Maybe if he was pushing server, could ask right now. He's down on the main floor. That's what FaZe is currently looking for down on the bottom floor. Wants to make sure that they cannot deny this plant from down below. Hans is going for it. The smokes go, and here's the plant.
Well, he baited out the nitro cell. Diaz finds nothing for it. Nesk will die, so does Diaz. It's all up to resets. Things just completely disappear. Liquid evaporate, I think you could say. Resets with no kills to his name, and it will as the TO for this game, which was back in, I think it was 2022, 2023. I'm trying to remember the year. Liquid had some great starts, finishing second, but ultimately the bridesmaid, not the bride. Nice shot by Pino on rappel. Goodbye to Maya. Long range and timeout or not, things are not going well for Liquid in this round.
Yeah, not finding the success they had previously. They are going to open area, which is the first time they've played this bomb site. Nice move from Resets. Gets it down onto Fantasy, which is huge. That was the death mark that was being placed onto Resets. Same time, Ask goes down too, though, so it's not exactly like it's going to be a big man advantage. Nade finishes it off.
To show up. This could be a death drop here, as Resets was eyeing the hatch inside of open area. Silhouettes show us that NIP players are assembled over there. Oh my, Diaz had his attention elsewhere. Hates was completely silent, sneaking in. Resets is cooking up something. A quad kill for Resets. Pino now marching his way on in, and the reads will be there as Resets picks seconds now. Tries to back his way in just outside of the reach of the flames, but the lineup for Diaz is perfect. Fantasy getting very aggressive, very assertive, walking on in. He's good enough for a single kill, dropped by Nesk. Now it's Khans' opportunity. Diaz still has one in back pocket. That shield absorbing a lot of bullets. Liquid firing away, and now the diffuser has fallen through the clutches of NIP. Team Liquid with an advantage as Hates now circles around. He's last one standing. Liquid have been excellent at shutting them down, and it will continue to get better as they win the round and not need Clubhouse as a decider.
Yeah, that ace from Recess in round 5 really turned the tides. He did have an opening death in round 6, but they were able to stall out that plant over and over again. Khans had no chance of getting it on the ground. When you're playing against a smoke, an early fall off, and Nesk is in the building, by the way, inside a vault. Do they have any clue he's here? It was loud on the Habana, but I don't think they know, Parker.
How did Pino not hear that? He's probably stunned as Maya has now joined. Multiple players in. Down goes Fantasy at the hands of Nesk. Team Liquid looking like a team possessed at this current point in time. Down goes Resets. NIP looking for a swing back in numbers, but Maya is there to bail Nesk out of a bad spot. Nesk once again holding on to that diffuser, playing a more traditional role. Wizard eliminating Ask means that it's a difference of one player between these two. But any trades at this point, and it's over. Wizard had a big moment just seconds ago. There's 3 targets for Liquid that he'll have to find. Nesk getting diffuser down as Wizard backs away. A beautiful shot onto Maya. Looking for one more over towards gold. Can't get it done. It's Diaz. Smoke going off. Diaz suffering through it. He's not doing so well, but he's managing to live for the time being. Oh my goodness, the last smoke does line up very well. Liquid on a go for broke strat, and guess what? Go broke is exactly what happens. Resets, whose all 5 kills came from that ace, is the last one up there, and look at how little damage has been done to these NIP players. Maybe, Jesse, 40 to 50 damage? That's it across all 5 players. Khans' position before, I still like it, Jesse, as he's sitting on those stairs, but he'll be flushed out by Resets as bees.
Gonna be chaos, Parker.
Absolutely, and Fantasy will shut down Ask. One of these teams will take the lead. Which one will it be? In keeping with the previous rounds, no team seems to dominate except for NIP, who crushes the advances of Team Liquid and almost gets a flawless round over the last couple rounds. And what I said about teams winning consecutive rounds might seem foolish depending on what happens. Towards stairs. There is a belated push through Garage. Hates tried this on attack for NIP. It did not work out. Now it looks like it's Resets who's going to be the one to do just that. Down goes Nesk. Ass taking a lot of damage. Resets finished off. Yep, Liquid are donezo. Stick a fork in them on this round. Maya almost got the diffuser down, and it's a flawless one. Of the
Deployable shield. Smoke being used, and they're still not easy. Stock jumping being held by Wizard, Janitor still being held by Cons as well. If they have good chemistry, that could be big, but there's the pick. That is exactly what Liquid wanted.
Yeah, and immediately Maya's tossed right out of the building. Maya's been having a rough game. Resets is also down for the count. Yokai Drone will spot Nesk, so at least one more player on Liquid is being watched by Nip. Yates was in a very bad position. Khan slaughters Nesk, and I just think this one is over. It is going to be mighty hard for Team Liquid to bail themselves out of this position. The 4 remaining players on Nip, all at full HP. Only 1 kill through this round. Ask in a precarious position atop of the stairs, and he's going to get chewed away at from Pino. Of the last 4 rounds,
when NIP played FaZe Clan on bank and they didn't win a single round on defense in half 2, and then Liquid opened up the second half by getting one on attack, and I'm like, oh boy, is this going to be where we see NIP fall apart? But they stormed back in, and Leo, to your point, because they were able to force those kills to happen within those last 30 seconds for 3 rounds in a row, it meant that Liquid didn't have an advantage early on that they could capitalize on.
Left this team just a couple of weeks ago and now has immediately qualified for top 4 in the SAL. That team to heights that they have never experienced before in their organization's history.
Remaining for Ask as they attempt to once again dislodge this Clash, who's now been moved out of a bad situation. Fantasy's been pinched. Very well done by Liquid to get that kill, but it's Nip who actually gets on the board first. Ask dies as well, and suddenly Nip have got themselves in a great spot. It looked like Liquid would be able to get some control here over on blue, but it is not working out effectively. While Nesk has Wizard's attention, that leaves Cons as last man standing. Liquid needs to get that diffuser down. Maya will attempt that. Where is Cons to shut this one down? Nesk finally dies. Maya, the only one keeping this round alive. He will successfully get the diffuser down. Time for Cons to get Fantasy back from the dead, and what a perplexing round we are witnessing. Diaz will now need to watch over this entire bomb site. He's all on his own. Diffuser will not help him in the slightest. The Clash of Wizard, who was unable to be dealt with by Nesk, gets it on the action. Fantasy has no problem with it, and an absolutely baffling 3.5 minutes comes to an end with Nip victorious. The nade into the fire arrow, but I mean, Cons, they endured. Now Cons will have an opportunity to... Wizard almost dies there, Jesse. What? That is a tight spot to be in. Resets is looking for more.
Still playing it really well though, and as the barbed wire gives away Resets position, Wizard will get 2 big kills. They line up as he finds Nesk right after Resets goes down. Now it's a 4v2 advantage for NIP.
Just kind of hopeless here. Once again, the Clash proving to be too difficult. Nesk was the player that Des talked about would need a big game from. He struggled in that previous round. This time, there's a bevy of players dealing with the Clash, and none of them in a positive direction. 2 in a row.
To be seeing if you're a Team Liquid fan, they'll start to work on this jacuzzi wall now, and there could be a freebie pick or even a death as Hates perfectly predicting what Diaz might do, and he's will stay close for the entire rest of the round. Massive positional advantage for NIP, massive man advantage for NIP as well. They find one back on a Pino, but what's it really going to be worth?
I mean, you just trade at this point. Nip just needs to play. Resets on low HP now as well, as things are not, I assume, going to get much better for Team Liquid here. We've got a shotgun aimed at Resets. Very little remains of him. Ask will be the one to run in on first, and Wizard and Cons.
And this should be a freebie, and it might just tilt them off the face of the planet.
My poor Ask. It's a green on green battle as the Goyo takes down Capitao. Early, Liquid can survive because of that. Focus over on blue was so strong back in round number 1. Will we see a repeat here? Nesk won't be bottled up in that area. Cons is finished off by Resets. So now Wizard has a shotgun out. Nesk is still fighting over towards blue, right back where we began in round number 1. Difference here, though, is Nesk can actually hit the targets if there's no shield in their way. Pino on the ward and swinging around, a nice play, and he'll flex over towards Charge. Just Fantasy's in on the board as well. Diaz gets diffuser down, tucked into the corner, and Pino will need to clutch out. Liquid's best look so far. Nitro Cell going out, but Diaz gets him before it can blow up. Good decision. There's a Jaeger on the board, whose pick rate in Brazil has not been very high in comparison to other regions. First kill is going to come out to Maya. Rotero drone. Capitao still mostly well equipped, barring the one fire arrow that had been used earlier. Nip is expecting a push towards the main breach, so Hates has been positioned over there. Flash is going over top. Hates is punished for his engagement. Wizard comes to the rescue. His 7th kill is found. My goodness, he cuts through all of them. Diaz now attempting the plant. Maya will watch over top of that. Wizard in a very daunting position, taking care of Maya, and he's home free to get the final 2 kills.
At the moment for Team Liquid, in their last game against FURIA on Clubhouse, they had 7 attempted defenses. They were successful just once with 6 defensive losses, so a 4-2 is necessary, but it's not happening. Cons and Fantasy open up the kills with 2 big ones on Anesk and Maya. Now this push is completely crumbling Parker. Resets goes down 2, leaving just Ask and Diaz in the 2v5.
This feels like the tail end of the previous map where Liquid couldn't even buy a kill. It's 1 frag for Ask. The only player so far from Nip who has yet to survive the round. He will have good company though. Fantasy and Wizard, the 2 top frags. Hates is tied with Fantasy, but 1 minute to go. I mean, Ask's position over on top red stairs is very well known here. A 5-1 first half is not impossible to overcome, but with the way Nip has looked over the last hour and a half, do you have money on them getting more than, say, 3 or 4 rounds? It's
quite bad on Clubhouse, 29% through their one and only game this stage, but I mean, the stats that make the difference in a game like this, it's going to be who really has it, who can get their team back into it, who's got
to none. And he's done it on some real bad teams, let's be completely frank. Nesk just being on a team alone makes them competitive. Liquid might need to find him a different supporting cast. First pick goes to Nip, but Liquid answer right back.
He's hoping to take down Ask, but Ask retreats with good pace. Nitro doesn't claim much. A minute 20 on the clock in Fantasy. How is that a headshot?
But through the smoke, as these 2 maps have been. You have to expect Liquid were expecting more out of themselves, but they are coming up short at the most important part of this best of 3. Fantasy will get buried on the stairs, and suddenly we are back to a 3v3. Stall potential now from Nip is accelerating. They will lose Wizard, and Team Liquid need to close this gap in a hurry. Nesk trying to crawl away, maybe giving information. He will be shut down. Diaz and Resets are the last 2 standing for Liquid up against Pino and Hates. Diffuser in the hands of Hates. Should he try to get the plan down in the next 10 seconds, it'll be all up to Pino to cover, who does just that. Hates doesn't like his read on the situation. You have an idea of where one of these players are, but what about the other? Pino dusted off by Resets. Hates firing away. He gets downed, but the time will ultimately give the
attention in towards Cash. Construction holds Resets and Ask, but still an awkward fight to take. Fantasy loses the vert angle. Nest gets 1 and backs right out. Good reinformation gathering being done by NIP, but even still, that's a massive pick on the main fragger of NIP. He wastes really good time.
Hates picking off Nesk through the hatch as Nesk had decided to do
1 fire arrow going out to move the clash, and then the smokes to enable the plants.
There, the flashes will go off, completely blinding these defenders. Cons will now die as the guns from Team Liquid are finding their marks. Hates will answer back. A second for Hates now. He's the offense at this current point in time for Nip. Wizard holds on to that diffuser. Another for Hates. A third. Could a 4th be found? No, he's put in the ground. Wizard with 1, and now Pino and Resets will find themselves in a 1v1. Resets needs to play the clock, but Pino walks up. They've been boxing Team Liquid out just about every step of the way. Drone, gain information, use your utility well, and that's what Nip has been doing. Not to mention the fact that Nip's guns have just been a little bit better, but hold on a second. Nesk still's got that dog in him. Pick on the Hates, but then answered back by Nip, who finds 2. Ask over by Billiards.
Open up a little bit more. Looks like they have, but it was messy. So when they convert it to a plant, that's a huge pick onto the Blackbeard.
Ask is having a sensational game through this round. 6 kills on his roll. You should not see Ask towards the top of Liquid, but yet he is. The clash of Maya slowing down Pino. He's got information. He'll feed that to Diaz and Ask. What a shot by Pino. Ask finds yet another. A quad kill could be on the board here. Pino's running out of time. I think that's the greater issue. Only a couple seconds left for him to pull this one off. Diaz with a super shorty out keeps Liquid alive.
Something to worry about. whilst NIP were struggling with the main wall and were focused on getting the garage breach, they had to worry about this guy that was planted. He wants to go for a plant just through the ash wall back of Armory. Could also still, of course, rotate over towards Church, but the Dirt player won't find any success. Hates does go down, and so it's a man advantage for Team Liquid.
Exactly where they want to be, and Hates as well, who's been a stellar player who can rise to the occasion. Now it's Maya gunning down Fantasy. Pino dies as well, and Team Liquid have themselves a comeback brewing. Yep, with only 2 players left, barging into the bomb site. Team Liquid need a single kill for a flawless round. They won't get it. Resets taken out by Wizard, but that is it. The flawless is broken. Liquid.
He saw him cross, but he didn't have the shot, so he's going to waste his time. I don't think Ask knows the Fantasy is holding him here, so Fantasy will give himself another opportunity.
There's the first pick. Traded back immediately. Hates only gets a single one. You cannot trade at this point. You need to go for broke if you're Team Liquid. Sit and wait, get that next pick, and push NiP into a position where they can make some mistakes. We've seen NiP make mistakes throughout this best of 3, so it's definitely doable. Still playing down below, and another missed opportunity from Fantasy. Out on the window now, 30 seconds remain, and Resets is looking for one over towards construction, but he has to pick his poison. No, he narrowly misses an opportunity, and he's almost out of bullets, chased away, seeking some salvation farther back, dusted off by Wizard. NiP with the advantage with only 15 seconds to go. A perfect opportunity for Cons to plant the diffuser. The last 3 players from Team Liquid moving in towards the bomb site, closing in on the objective. They trade, with the advantage still favoring NiP, and now the timer will favor them too. Cons shutting out Ask, and to keep Liquid alive, it's the newest member imported from North America, Diaz, looking for something, finding nothing. Liquid are done. NiP into the top 4.
In that first half was one Church Arsenal attack in round 4, and then from there it just progressively slipped. There might have been a point where a comeback was possible, but as soon as NIP forced match point, they were up 6-2. Liquid could only do so much with so few chances left on the board, and ultimately it just comes down to one downstairs peek, making sure Fantasy handles Ask and understands where he is with Deimos, and once those positions were the team that's been fighting for a long time to get back to land, but now they've finally done it. Cons, congratulations, buddy. For the moment, it feels like mission accomplished. What do you think about how this series went overall? The first map was incredibly close, but you could have won it. Frankly, the guys on the desk think that this could have been over in 2. What did you do after map 1 to make sure that you locked in for those last 2?
First, hello everyone, and thank you for the words. When you started on the best of 3, Liquid pick Lair is not a very good map for us, so we start to play, know that like probably they were gonna win, but this was a very close, so this gives some confidence to us, because like in their peak there was a 7-8-7, so we showed us that we can win Lair. So on the next 2 maps, Bank, we don't lose to them. They are not a really good team in that map. And Club was like a how can I say, was tough, was like 62, but we are keeping very calm. We know that that map is very defense side, you know, so we just stay calm, and that's it. I can't think in English. I'm very tired. It was best of 3. I was screaming a lot to get a good energy for my team. So I think that's it. Sorry.
No worries, Guns. Actually, you know what? You know, we can't speak a single word of Portuguese, so you know, it's just like it's good that you have this level for us to speak. I was gonna ask you. I felt like watching Liquid play. They were extremely slow, and you guys were extremely good at punishing them being too late in the execution. Was that part of the game plan for you guys to punish them being very slow?
Yes, and like playing the game, I feel yesterday we talked about it, that sometimes on attack you don't need to play with fear, you know, like sometimes you need to get a position and a place fast. If you die, it's okay. Attack is hard right now, so we play on attack with no fear, you know. just playing fast and get some positions fast to break the defense, the steps of the defense. So is what a part of the plan of the game. So yeah, we study a lot of this, especially yesterday. Just talking about it.
How important is it, Cons, for your team to have made the LAN event in the summer for Esports World Cup? Because Fantasy's not been to LAN for a while, you know, Hates has not been ever. So how important is it for you and your team?
I think this is the most important thing to me because I grew up playing with Hates and Done, and they never go like a LAN event international. And they deserve a lot. I know that they work so hard so many times, and sometimes more than me, every time more than me. So they deserve a lot. And Fantasy, we know that he is insane and he is crazy sometimes, and they deserve it. This is very special for me.
Hey, the payoff was worth it, man, and especially for the guys who've been fighting to try to get to LAN for the first time in a hot minute. Again, congratulations. We're not totally done with you. We'll see you tomorrow for more games, but for now, basket it, man. You've earned it. Congratulations.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.